One of the things I get asked to talk about the most here on my channel is how I save money, saving tips, how I budget, and all of that. And I get it, in this weird world that keeps getting worse and worse, because let's face it, that's what's happening and it's not reassuring at all. It can be challenging, especially if you're a regular gal like me, because not everybody out there is a multimillionaire, a CEO of something, or a manager, that kind of stuff. Most of us are regular people with regular jobs and pretty regular, not so fancy incomes. But I try to stay positive, and I think that with the right method and the right tips, this is something that still can be done quite easily, I might say. So in today's video, we're going to cover all of that. But before we begin, make sure to subscribe to my channel if you like the content that I share here, and click the little bell so you will never miss any of my future videos. Hit that like button too, because it helps a lot. Thank you. I've been asked to make a video on how I budget for quite a while now, and I promise I'm gonna do it at some point, but I still haven't gotten to the good chance and point where I can properly film it. So today we're not gonna cover the budgeting portion of money saving, but please don't forget that I do all of the things that I'm about to share in this video, or that I recommend you to do all of the things that I'm about to share in this video on top of budgeting. For me, budgeting is non-negotiable, is the most essential thing that you kind of like have to do, in my opinion, if you want to save money efficiently. So tip number one might seem a very simple one, but it's one of the most effective things that you can do in your day-to-day life, which is cut down your meals out and eat mindfully. As simple as it is, bring your lunch at work as much as possible. Eat out less often. Avoid overeating, because if you bought groceries for a whole week and you finish them all up in 3 days, well, you have a problem. So you might want to rethink the way you eat and you cook. Cut down your junk food and cut down your meat consumption, aka eat less meat. It might not seem like a lot, but trust me, it helps immensely, because at the end of the year, it all adds up. The things I haven't bought jar. Alongside with budgeting, this is the thing that helps me to save the most money in a year. So I highly, highly recommend it. I personally use a jar because I like a pretty jar or a cute container, but you can do whatever you like. But basically, whenever I want to buy something, but then I make the conscious and mindful decision not to buy that thing, I take the money that I would have spent and I stick it in a jar. As simple as it is. I like to write down the item and the price on a piece of paper so I can keep track of all of it, and that's that. It can be anything from a snack that you said no to an expensive trip that you wanted to do, but maybe you reconsidered because it was not the savviest decision of all. If I decide that I can do without, I take the money that I would have spent and I put it in the jar. I've talked about this more than once, definitely more than once in my videos before, but I like to keep talking about it because there are more and more people that maybe never heard of it and find the idea really, really smart. So I'm planning to do a video themed on the how much money I saved with this method in 2023 at the beginning of next year. So if you want to see that video and you would like to know more about the topic, then just drop me a comment below. Much similar to the previous method, because again, I like cute jars in a pretty container, I also recommend you to use the spare coins / €5 bills jar. Obviously, I'm talking about euros because I live in Europe. You can use whatever currency you have in the country you live in, but the principle is the same. Whenever I have some coins or €5 cash like bills laying around, I put it in the jar. It might not seem like a lot, but if you do it for longer periods of time, this is the first year that I'm doing it for an entire year. Every once in a while, I take a peek in the jar and I am impressed at how much money there's actually in there. I'm gonna count it all up at the end of the year, but again, it all adds up. Shopping bans or no spending challenges. I think that being mindful about your spending and learning to prioritize is essential. Because otherwise, if you keep spending all of your money and keep living paycheck to paycheck and buying things that you can't afford, you are not going to save money. Let me tell you that, friend. But doing a shopping ban or no spending challenges can be an effective way to save money, and also pretty quickly. You can decide to stick just to the essentials and the essentials only for a set period of time. You can decide how long, which are the things that you want to ban from your expenses for a while. You can set your own rules. You can do it for a week, for a month, for 6 months, for a year. You do whatever makes you comfortable. You can even decide to implement every once in a while in your normal week, no spending days, if that helps you to get started a little easier and take it step by step. Those are also really, really effective. This method of the shopping bans or no spending challenges, they do take and require willpower. But if your end goal is to save, you have to learn to prioritize and to say no to the things that are not exactly essentials. Hey there, Editing Jen here. Something that I haven't really talked about in the video for some reason, but I think it's worth mentioning very quickly, so that's why I'm doing it now, are sinking funds. Well, sinking funds are basically specific savings accounts that are destined to finance a specific plan or project, so that you set up to reach a specific financial goal. So let's say you want to finish to pay for your mortgage, you want to finish to pay for your car, or you have a trip overseas planned, or you want to have, a trip overseas that you know that it's going to be expensive, so you want to be able to pay for it. So that's what a sinking fund does. So, an emergency savings account is there just in case something happens, but a sinking fund is meant to go towards a specific plan or project that is going to happen anytime soon. I personally don't have any set at the moment, so that's probably why I haven't really talked about it when I filmed this video originally, but I think that these can be great ways to help you save money in a relatively short period of time. The thing that, however, is going to help you really when it comes to be efficient and successful with a sinking fund is A, learning to prioritize again, because you can't do it all, and B, being regular and consistent with it, because it can work, and it can work successfully if you learn to prioritize and you set aside money on a regular basis towards that goal. I think that could be functioning very well if, again, you have like a clear understanding of how much money you make, how much money you spend, and how. So if you do, I would still include them in your monthly budget. But if you don't have a monthly budget, or for some reason you can't set up one, I think that still having a little bit of a financial idea of which are the things that you want to be able to finance in the future, to pay for in the near future, and having, a structure that is going to help you save for those goals is really key and really important. So if you decide to set up a sinking fund, is still a great help for your financial game, I think. Saving challenges. Now, I still haven't tried them, but I definitely am planning to do a couple in the new year, because I think they can be a fun yet effective way to save money. So I made a little research, and I am going to talk to you about, because I want to share them with you, about the things that I think that were most interesting when it comes to saving challenges. There are so many of them, it's impressive. But the ones that I liked the most were the weekly money saving challenge. Basically, this project lasts a whole year, and for every week of the year, you save the amount of money that corresponds to the calendar week you're in. So, very simply, on week 1, you're gonna set aside €1. On week 2, €2. On week 3, €3, and so on till the end of the year. On the final week, you're gonna save €52. If you want, you can start with 52 and then go all the way down to 1. It's up to you. If it makes it easier, you start with a bigger amount first, and then you go all the way down to the lowest. But I think this one is great because at the end of the year, it makes you save €1,378. That's really impressive. Healthy Choices Challenge. Now, due to various reasons that I'm not going to talk about in this video, I am a little forced on making different, healthy decisions to improve my health. Sometimes it's hard to break patterns that you had for so long, and then all of a sudden you have to change some things in your diet. You have to change some things in your daily routine and stuff. And so I think that having a healthy choices challenge is something that can kill two birds with one stone. Now, we love animals here, so I don't really like that, you know, metaphor of killing two birds with one stone. So you kill two purposes with one stone. So let's say it that way. For example, it can be useful for me to put €1 aside every time I notice that I did something for my health. For example, I've hit my daily 10,000 steps. I do office work, so sometimes moving a lot during the day can be challenging. Or if I said no to an unhealthy snack, if I've noticed that I've done well in drinking enough water that day, that can be something really effective, because again, 2 goals with just one single thing. So every time you do something healthy or something good for yourself, for your body or for your mind, €1 on the side. It's simple. Another one that I kind of liked is the €1 a day challenge. This is pretty self-explanatory. So for every day of the year, you put on the side €1. That's it. But again, there's so much on the topic out there. So you can, if you're interested in doing money saving challenges, you just make a quick Google search and you can find so much inspiration. So it's impressive. So you just have to find, I'm sure that there's one for every single one of you. You just have to find the right one for you. Something that is also really simple, but also really effective is to sell what you no longer need. Donating is great, but sometimes it's nice to know that some of the things that we spent money on, we can get some of that money back. I mean, obviously you won't be able to get back all of the money that you spent in the first place, but it's good to know that something might come back, because it all adds up again, right? If something is nice and it's in good conditions, it's worth the try. You can use whatever platform you're familiar with or you like the most, or you have available in your country. There's eBay, there's Facebook Marketplace. I use Vinted so much. You can use Craigslist, you can use Poshmark, you can use Depop. Is that still a thing? You can use whatever you want, you do you, but I don't have a lot of stuff in the first place. I don't own a lot. If you've seen my videos already, you know that I don't own a lot. So the stuff that I'm able to sell, it's not on a regular basis, and it's not a lot in the first place because I don't own a lot in the first place. But if you're someone who has a lot and wants to declutter a bit, you can make a pretty regular extra income if you put regularly listings online, and that can turn into a little extra cash that you're able to bring back into your pockets every single month. And what I personally recommend to do whenever I sell something, or if you have a little side hustle like I do, I have YouTube. By the way, I don't make a lot of money on YouTube because YouTube doesn't pay small creators very fairly, I think, but this is a whole nother topic. If you sell something or if you have a little side hustle, just like I have YouTube, I treat that money as if I didn't have it in the first place. Because if you say to yourself, great, well, I have extra cash this month, so I can buy this and this and this. Well, no, that's not really the purpose. If you want to save, if you treat that money as if you didn't have it in the first place, you are immediately going to save it. Automatically saved. You don't have to do anything more than that. So it all adds up. Sell the crap that you no longer need and still in good condition, and that can turn into a regular side hustle. And if you have other ways to make a little extra income, then just try to focus on that, because it might help you to save a little extra every single month. The last tip that I'm going to share, also pretty simple, but I think very common for regular people just like me, and maybe you watching if you click on this video, is to shop with coupons. Use them a lot, people, but use them wisely. Buy things where they're cheaper. Don't rely on convenience. Just make a little research. Go buy things where they're cheaper. And if you have coupons, don't waste them on things that you wouldn't have bought anyways. Use them on things that you need, on things that you like, and on things that you actually use, because Otherwise, that money is wasted. If you have a good coupon, also consider in stocking up a little. I like to do it with, for example, like with facial moisturizers or with skincare products. If I see in the drugstore apps that I have a really good coupon, I like to stock up and buy like 2, maybe 3, depending on how much I have available, you know, for that category that month on my budget. But stocking up, it's also like a great idea if you have really good coupons, because that helps you save in the long run. So keep that in mind. This is going to be it for today. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Please keep in mind that I'm not a financial expert. I'm just a regular gal. So again, I'm not a millionaire, and I'm trying to navigate in this crazy world, in this crazy life, living by myself with a normal income, and I don't have a fancy job at all. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like, leave a comment, subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one.